Hello and welcome to the One People Show. Hello and welcome everyone to this week's One People Roundtable. Sorry.
The One Fucked Up People Roundtable Show. Coming to you live from the land of Wonderland.
Where unicorns roam.
Where unicorns roam.
For those of you who have been following the conversation over the last couple of days in Facebook, or no, last 24 hours, you would know that all is well in the world.
All is well.
Because there are now unicorns.
In the Bible. Isn't that special?
Now, the funny thing is...
Someone's unmuted.
The funny thing is, I have found multiple references. Hold on. What's going on? I have found multiple references to people over the last 20, 30 years discussing the unicorns in the Bible.
Discussing the references to the unicorns in the Bible.
So apparently in this reality, it's common knowledge that there's unicorns in the Bible. People have been arguing, debating, and discussing it for years.
And not in just one place. No. All through the Bible, there are fucking unicorns. They dance around everywhere, apparently. Hold on, I have to go fix our sun shield.
Oh, yeah.
Right back.
I sort of made a joke in one of the rooms the other day. It was like, if we hear that Moses parted the rainbow fart from a unicorn instead of a Red Sea, we will know that this is just a Disney production. Basically, this is brought to you. This reality was brought to you by Disney.
If I'd had the time yesterday, I was actually going to go find a picture of Charlton Heston in the movie Moses and somehow like Photoshop him to riding a unicorn, parting the Red Sea. I just didn't have time. So sorry, guys. It was there. The intentions were good.
It's not the only thing. We have Nathan to thank for a couple of these.
Thank you, Nathan. Do you sleep? Do you sleep?
No one sleeps.
No, okay, none of us sleep. This is true. Which is why we look like this.
The other one is the Matrix. The Matrix is mentioned in the Bible.
Yep. I didn't go get the Bible. I need to go get the Bible.
Exodus 34:19 mentions the Matrix. The unicorn thing is
all through the Bible.
All through it.
Like there must be at least 15 different scriptures that mention unicorns in the King James Version. And I went and let's not go into these fucking conversations. But it's only online. No. Pull out a King James Version Bible. It's right fucking there.
Go get it so you can show physically it's there.
Fine, I'll be right back. I need
now
the Unfuckers list of all those scriptures because I can't remember which ones the unicorns were in.
Well, I've got one reference for it, which was Isaiah 34:7. Have enemies been discovered in the Torah? A Hebrew is saying this too. Well, that's the sort of question we posed the other week, wasn't it? Is it happening in other scriptures, in other spiritual religious texts? We don't know. And it's not as easy for us to determine because none of it's kind of even rightly in English. Has anything been discovered in the Torah? No, we're not in Kansas anymore, Dorothy. At all.
Give
Toto's
me
run amok.
Home where the unicorns roam and the skies are not cloudy all day or flooding all over the world all day. Yeah, that's something like that. Yeah, I'm in a mood. Just deal with it. It's been a weird weekend.
Yeah, that's the next one. Okay. Bible. King James Version.
King James Version.
From what year?
Oh, this is a relatively newish. This one was printed in 2002. So this is a relatively newish one. Printed in 2002.
Oh, hang on. Here we go.
Yeah, Numbers 18.
Exodus chapter
Okay.
13:15. And it came to pass, when Pharaoh would hardly let us go, that the Lord slew all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both the firstborn of man and the firstborn of beast. Therefore I sacrifice to the Lord all that openeth the matrix, being males, but all the firstborn of my children I redeem.
Okay, so this is Exodus 13:15. Okay,
Yep.
hold on.
And then Exodus chapter 34.
Hold on, one at a time. Here's Exodus 11, 13. Whoops. See, look, I knew there was a reason why I made sure I had my glasses handy. I'll be able to read now. Sorry, Exodus 13:15.
13:15, yeah.
And it came to pass, when the Pharaoh would hardly let us go, that the Lord slew all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both the firstborn of man and the firstborn of beast. Therefore I sacrifice to the Lord all that openeth the matrix, being males, but all the firstborn of my children I redeem.
Exactly word for word what was just
Exactly
written.
word for word. Exodus 34:19.
Mad Tom, what edition have you copied that from? And then Exodus
19. All that openeth the matrix is mine, and every firstling among thy cattle, whether ox or sheep, that is male. There's the matrix again. And then Numbers
chapter
3 verse 12. Okay, Leviticus, Numbers 2, 3, wait, 3. Fucking Numbers is long, I forgot. Verse 12.
And I behold,
I have taken the Levites from among the children of Israel, instead of all the firstborn that openeth the matrix among the children of Israel. Therefore the Levites shall be mine. Oh, that's interesting.
What's that?
Well, the Levites are the priestly class. In the Hebrew scriptures, the Levites are the priestly class. They're the ones who carried the Ark of the Covenant. They were the only ones who were allowed to be in the holiest of holies, to carry the Ark of the Covenant, who were the realm of the high priests. In the opening of the matrix, and the high priests. I'm going to have to look into that for a second. I didn't actually read that one.
And there's more.
Okay, go on.
They just keep coming.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, you're not on Facebook for 2 days. And
I missed all the fucking fun.
So, from King James. So what does anyone remember? What did it used to say before Matrix?
I don't remember, but I know it didn't say Matrix, because it would have been one of those words. It would have been like, what word is that? Why is that in the Bible?
Okay. So we've got people who are connected to Jewish people who read the Torah. So we need to start having conversations and seeing if there's any discrepancies in the Torah.
Yeah, I would really. Now, of course, you have the fact that Hebrew does not literally translate through to English. So you're not going to necessarily find a word like matrix unless it might just be a matter of if the wording has changed, because obviously you're not going to get necessarily a direct translation of what the word matrix is in Hebrew. But have they noticed changes to the wording of the Torah? That would be the big question.
Now here,
and unicorns. I'm sorry, they must unicorns.
So we've got Dee who got brought up on the Bible, on the Jehovah's Witness Bible.
Mm-hmm.
Me, never read the Bible, but had to do the Lord's Prayer at school, and all the kind of famous lines out of the Bible, all the ones that we get thrown into sort of the collective popular culture, all of that.
Society paints them in front of you continuously,
and it's things like that you'd pick up on, especially if you're in this line of
this kind of work. Work, yeah, right.
If the word Matrix had been in the Bible when the movie The Matrix came out, people would have been making those connections.
People would have been like, oh, okay, the Matrix movie came out.
Wasn't it
98? 98 was when the first Matrix movie came out. That means a fuck of a lot of years, like 18 years.
Yeah. And not one person's made any connection between the movie and the Bible.
That is my biggest thing for me to say. Okay, the fact that I don't remember the word being in the Bible before.
So you used to say womb instead of matrix.
But the fact that no one is talking about that connection, because that would be such a major connection. Like after that movie had such an astounding effect and continues to have such an astounding effect, there would be someone somewhere who would have brought that up and been like, look, it's right there in the Bible. And there is
who
no
would have brought it up,
conversation.
if anybody, the first person that comes to my mind is, oh my God, what's his name? I can see him. He's got a beard. American guy, Jeff Vaughn. And he actually did a Decoding the Matrix, a really good Decoding the Matrix series. What's his name?
Oh, I know. Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Does anybody know? Is
The
anybody
Decoding the Matrix. And it was an amazing series.
what's his name? Is anybody telling me?
Let's keep going.
Mark Passio. That's the one.
Mark Passio, yeah.
Yep, Mark Passio. If there was a connection in there or some kind of reference, he would have made it.
Okay, well,
In my reality, anyway.
I think I'm friends with Mark Passio on Facebook. Are you friends with Mark Passio? I think I'm friends with Mark Passio on Facebook.
Go on.
I'm going to have to send a message. We have to reach out and ask him, okay, do you know this? This is a brand new thing that's just been brought to our attention.
Good call. Yeah, good call.
Because, like you say, basically anyone who's ever done any major discussions, videos, work on the whole Matrix movie series and its direct relation to our own fucking reality, or not, we need to bring this to their attention just to see what the ripple effect of that fallout is.
And the other question is, you and I have hypothesized, I so shouldn't have taken a bite of muffin at that point. The Bible
Have a sip of coffee?
is their script, right? So they're rewriting the script.
Okay.
If that's the case.
Yeah.
And are they rewriting it in order to make it more relevant to us and our language? Are they rewriting it to...
Okay, so here's, because we had this conversation 2 days ago, or yesterday, before, about the changes to the Bible. So we talked about the Lord's Prayer. So we said, okay, changing forgive us our trespasses to forgive us our debts. You can see the relevance in society as it is right now, and the fucking everything that we're experiencing in this moment. But the other change that we discovered in September at the exact same time was that, and the lion shall lay down with the lamb, has now been changed to the wolf shall lay down with the lamb. What fucking good is that change? What relevance does changing lion to wolf? And apparently there's now a couple other scriptures where lion is mentioned, which is now wolf. And I don't know, maybe if Nathan could ping us, or if, I don't know, I don't think Nathan's in the room right now, or anyone else. There is a couple others that have come up. There's no relevance in that.
Did you see
creating unicorns? That's just someone taking the piss. Sorry, that's someone just taking the piss. But the Matrix, yeah, that could be relevant to this simulation, this reality.
Did you know that rhinoceros was supposed to be unicorns? And that's how they were described?
No. This is the new thing. This is a brand new little twist.
No, this apparently goes back to 400 years ago.
Yeah. I know. They say recently that it goes back to 400 years ago. And there is some stuff, but it's the brand. Okay, well, let's go look at it. A month and a half ago, it went through Facebook. They've discovered a skeleton of a unicorn, and they've rebuilt this unicorn. Of course, it doesn't look like a unicorn. It looks like a frickin', I don't know, a cow with a horn on its nose, a bison type thing. It's not even remotely, My Little Pony unicorn type shit. But again, this is brand new, a month and a half ago, so it's relevant to this conversation. They all of a sudden happen to discover a skeleton, and they're calling it a unicorn, but it's not a unicorn. I mean, it's very obviously
well, it's not a unicorn if a unicorn isn't really a horse with a horn on its head.
Well, exactly. But then we have this crossover with the Bible, where all of a sudden now we have, out of the blue, unicorn appearing in the Bible. Did not happen. Ever. There was never mention of unicorns in the Bible.
Not in your reality.
Not in my reality. Ever.
But there is
in any
it's
Bible.
always been there. This is the thing. It's
But this is
always
what I'm
been
saying.
there for some people.
It's been inserted in, and the cross reference is wild ox. Now you have a month and a half ago, they discover this fossilized remains of a unicorn, which looks like a wild ox, and they're now calling it a unicorn. Coincidence that this unicorn appears in the Bible at the exact same time as, like, within a month time of them finding the skeleton of this wild ox and naming it a unicorn? Yeah, I think not. I'm sorry. Not buying it. Not for a second.
I like that comment, Jeffrey.
Right.
If rewriting, rewriting the Bible means they can change the matrix, and so can we, because we are neons.
I'm going to probably make a lot of people pissed off. I don't really want to be Neo. I think I'd rather be Agent Smith. No, think about it. Agent Smith goes in and rewrites it all. He is the glitch within the Matrix. The end of the movie, Neo dies. Agent Smith doesn't. He's still in there, fucking around with the Matrix. He just disappears into the Matrix and changes all of it. I'd rather be Smith. I'd rather go in and really change the Matrix. Not fight within the Matrix. I want to change the Matrix. I want to rewrite the fucking Matrix. That's just my strangeness.
No, I said the point. Although, yeah, flying and kicking ass like Neo would be cool.
That'd be totally okay. But Agent Smith can do that too.
Just some comments. The whole effing system we have lived within is an overlay. It's a fake meant to deceive. We all take it for the only reality because all given evidence says so. But now we can feel, and I mean what I say, feel, that is not correct.
Yeah.
Yes, everything that we've found so far is in the King James.
I've only got one King James version at the moment to cross-reference, unfortunately. This, like I said, this one was printed in 2002. Apparently, someone else said someone in the Unfuckers room said that they checked a family Bible or a Bible that was like at least 30 years old that was in the King James version that was 30 years old, and they found unicorns in there too. Could it be the ancient experimental genetic fuckery as an Egyptian art?
I have had some really, really, I will say, interesting messages over the last week, including from people I've interviewed in the past who are freaking out that, how do I put this without exposing them? That they are being put through a lot of hell, that in some cases that they feel that this is an internal purging and cleansing, that we are in the midst of the event, for lack of any other description.
Another term.
There's been and apparently Yellow Rose for Texas some years ago, like back in 2013, said that at the time of this event, this exit, this emit, whatever
this thing,
that there would be a huge wet down, that the planet needs to be wet in order to cool it down while this thing happens because the planet heats up considerably. And we're seeing these flash floods and flooding and torrential rains and storms all
everywhere
over the planet.
The entire planet's flooding at the moment. Russia, China, India, North America, Europe.
Down the road.
Down the road here. We just saw drone footage of the little town that we always joke about, that we always go into Lismore to go get groceries and have a coffee. Yeah, it looks like Venice right now. You need a gondola to get to Lismore to go shopping. So I'm not going to be going to Lismore this week. Everywhere, every continent, there's massive flooding. Massive rainstorms. Wild, unbelievable geological and atmospheric events. Nick just showed me a picture yesterday of a tornado touching down in the middle of, where was it? City. It was a city, and it was in, I want to say Europe, somewhere in Europe. I want to say Italy somewhere. Maybe it was Naples in Europe. A tornado touching down in the middle of the city, and it was like this incredible column. Boom. This is not a place where you get tornadoes. There's no history of tornadoes in this area. Wherever, wish I could remember which city it was. There's no history. This is not a place. It's not like, Kansas, which gets hit with tornadoes like every other month.
And some of you may have seen the cloud formations over Sydney yesterday. Those huge shelf clouds. Unbelievable. If you didn't see it, go and have a look. There's some amazing photos. And yesterday we also had that anomaly here above us again, where there is this huge cloud formation with a distinct edge. Blue sky, beautiful blue sky, not a cloud in it. Past the line. The cloud, it's a line. It's weird.
Like a shelf. A ledge.
1965 version of the King James, and it says all the same things.
There you go.
Is that what you're saying, Jules, that your 1965 version also talks about matrices and unicorns now? Ow.
Of course, now I'm going to just took it.
Yep, okay. Thank you.
Interesting fact is that it's the King James version. Hold on. Sorry, guys.
You did it too.
I just did the same thing.
Dry as a bone in the UK.
Regardless of what all these Christian religions want to say, all Bibles, every Bible, in the Christian religious realm comes from the King James. The King James version is the original printed version of the Bible. It is the one that all Bibles are based off of. And you get modern English renditions, and you get various religious factions who create their own and change certain wording to suit their own agenda. But they're still all based on the King James Bible. So I find it very, very interesting that we're seeing these insertions of words in the King James Bible. Because like you said, if it's their game plan, if it's their playbook, are they inserting it into the original and then it will spread out like a virus?
Sandy's saying the Niv, whatever that means, I'll take it you know what that means, is taken directly from the Greek Bible.
Sandy, you're going to have to explain that. I don't understand what you mean.
New International Version.
Okay, but what do you mean by Greek Bible? That's what I'm asking. Sorry, not no inter. What do you mean by the Greek Bible? Because therein is the understanding.
Written prior to the Greek.
I get it that it's written prior to, that all the changes were made to the King James to encompass all the previous Bibles. And while they say there was all these previous versions of Bibles, the King James was written and then spread out and mass printed. And obviously I can't prove this, but that was the agenda. The agenda was to bring all these back. Exactly. The Aramaic Bible is there first, absolutely. And there are translations of the Aramaic Bible, but all of the New World translations, the modern English translations, etc., are based on the King James. There may be changes to those Bibles, like I said, like the Lutheran Bible will have changes that are part of the religious teachings of the Lutheran Bible. The Jehovah's Witness Bible, which is the New World Translation, is still based on the King James, regardless of what they want to say. And the wording changes that are in there reflect their own religious biases.
And that lake that disappeared in Chile.
Oh, yeah.
We saw that too.
Yeah, we saw the lake that disappeared in Chile as well. I just went and looked at it this morning. A lake. And we're not talking a little lake, like, a glorified pond type lake. This thing is a massive lake in Chile. some areas of the lake, the average depth is 250 feet, with some areas reaching 450 feet deep, disappeared overnight. And you look at the pictures, it's all over the internet right now, you can see it. The lake disappeared overnight. There's nothing. And there's not like there's a big drain hole, like someone just pulled the plug and it all sunk down. There is no explanation for it. And apparently the Chilean government is going, we're not saying nothing.
Apparently Maury's on a roll, but I missed it. Now,
so we can lengthen the chat so we can see a little farther back. It just makes it a bit easier. I don't know. No, we can't do that. Okay.
No.
Sorry, guys.
Unless I did. What does that do? No. Oh, I can pop it out. That's about it.
That would be good.
Oh, you want me to?
No, not that one.
Shit. Sorry.
It's okay. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. There. Pop that out. If we overlay that over top, it might just make it easier to see the entire chat, because we can expand it down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, PCs. I hate PCs.
Oh, stop whining. At least I have a computer.
True. They just can't be choosers and all that sort of stuff.
Yes, yes.
Okay, someone's having issues getting some sound.
It would be your input. You have to go into your settings and reset your settings.
Jeff, Cliff High. You're usually on top of all of that.
Yeah, you posted something to us recently a couple of days ago that Cliff High said that was kind of,
He's been talking about... Oh, go for it. Sorry, you're unmuted.
No, I did share the new report, but he's talking about the floods, expando planet model, the flooding, because oil and water is created from the center of the earth as the planet expands. But he's talking about just torrential rains out of nowhere, just like in the movie 2012.
Yeah.
Just a lot of chaos.
The cause is that the globe is expanding.
His theory is the sun gives us plasma. The plasma is absorbed by the center of the earth, as we're in that period right now with the white sun. And as the plasma grows, it creates oil, matter, because he calls it the materium, and water. And they're both coming up from below.
You mentioned something that just reminded me. Another thing we were...
Oh, yeah, did you find the link?
Nope.
Oh.
Okay, we came across a link, and you guys probably saw it too.
Was it in the Unfuckers?
I don't know.
Damn.
I couldn't find it again when I went looking for it. And it was about the experiments in what looks like
magnetics.
What's those
MRI
machines?
It looks like one, but that's not what it is. But it looks like that.
And so they tested people prior to putting them in there and got their levels of IQ and memory and creativity and all of those sort of things. And everybody pretty much rates and where the activity in the brain is happening.
Yeah.
Mapped all of that. And yes, confirms that, only 5% of the brain is really being activated. Then they put them in this machine that essentially is a shield from all external electromagnetic fields. So I don't know. It didn't say how long they put him in for or how often or any of that.
There was no, I wish there had been that information.
And that everything spikes, everything increases.
While the person's in there.
And after. It's an ongoing effect.
Yeah.
That more parts of the brain become active and everything improves. Which got us onto the moon. Because we all have this unique electromagnetic signature that we put out. So we were having this kind of hypothetical what if conversation around our own magnetic fields, the Earth's magnetic field,
The moon.
the moon, gravity, levity, all of that sort of going into it and playing a part. So what if, and the easiest way for me to explain for myself this concept was that we've got our own electromagnetic field that is potentially limitless. And if the moon is putting out a dampening, projecting a dampening frequency, that might be what we call gravity. The net, and I'm sorry, but I do believe there is some kind of net. I don't know what it is, whether it's just I've seen it, I feel it, I've done it. You know, there are times I can see it in the sky with my own eyes. There's something up there. Is that what is the force of gravity? And it's keeping our magnetic fields condensed and heavy and contained, blocking perhaps the force of levity, for one. There's a tie-in. Dee and I are both in agreement that there's a tie-in here with the moon.
Oh, yeah. The moon is the artificial construct. Biblically, the people before the time of the moon. So the moon, I mean, God, look, do we even have to, the moon is not real. It's construct. Most people who've done any research on it will come to that conclusion. Why? Why this thing that doesn't act like any other moon? And so many pieces come out talking about it being a projector. It affects tides. It affects,
maybe.
Well, no, but this is what we're saying. I'm talking now mainstream science.
Oh, yeah,
the explanation of the moon. It affects the waxing and waning of the moon, affects the tides, it's the ebb and flow, etc., etc. So that's what I said. Where's my other? Wait, I need my other. I need the other lighter. I had two lighters to do the explanation with. I lost my lighter. It's gone.
While you're looking for it, I'm just going to read these.
I don't know where my lighter went to. It's bloody well vanished.
Frequency fence, energetic net. The Channy project proposes we remove our moon. It suppresses us energetically.
Yeah. Well,
it runs the matrix. Question. Is it part of the hologram, masking the hologram? Is it the server? We've gone off this subject now, so I'll send this privately. Oh, more King James Version stuff.
Well, here's the thing. Like I said,
switch.
Purely looking at magnetics as the simple mainstream science of magnetics. So if you have two magnets, pardon me, I did this yesterday with two lighters, so it's very apparent. If this is us, and our magnetic field, all magnetic fields have a north and south pole. So let's say our head is the north pole and our feet are the south pole, whatever you want to call it. Okay? When you have two magnets, when they work together, they always are the opposite. So north to south, south to north, right? That's how magnets work. That's how they attract. But when you try and you take two north poles and you try and push them together, you have this massive force. This force that pushes down. Now, if you have one magnet and the second magnet is way more powerful, when it pushes down, it can cause the other magnet to flip. It can control the magnetic field of the other magnet. It's all about the strength of the magnets and which one's stronger to who wins the battle of North and South Pole. Just looking at mainstream science. This is our magnetic field. And the moon is projecting a massive magnetic field, which is pushing down on us, keeping us, as you say, down, pulling us down, interfering with our own natural fields, because whatever affects us magnetically also affects us electrically. What is our electromagnetic fields are everything. It's our communication. It's quantum communication. It is everything. If that's what that moon is, this giant projector.
That would affect your basic functions, your brain functions.
Everything. Even to the point of, like we say, photonic communication and quantum communication, photonic, electrical, light, all of these things would be affected. So when we talk about things of we're only using 5%, and we have certain areas of our brain that are not used. They're completely dormant areas of our brain. Are they being dampened? Is that how it's achieved? By putting, basically, we take not necessarily a net, but a net that goes over us, that overpowers our own electromagnetic fields.
Wonder if that net veil was what they were symbolizing in that crazy tunnel ceremony in Switzerland when they had the veil cloth over the people in their underwear.
Yeah, maybe.
The virtual reality is a perverted shadow reflection of the spiritual world, according to the Puranas or the Vedas.
Yeah.
Just watched an episode of Doctor Who where the storyline is the moon is an egg, and when it hatched, a dragon came out.
Well, interesting.
Does no one think that these grids that folks see, feel, etc. is the collective and we are being lied to about what it is?
Absolutely.
It's possible. I can only tell you what I feel into when I've seen what I've seen. To me, the collective presents differently. I see and feel that very differently. But that's me. Yes, we are lied to about everything.
Yeah, it's all a big lie. It's all a great big fucking lie.
Mainstream lies is all lies, yes. What about the grid-looking computer board my roommate has found in various masses of water all around the world?
Yeah, that's, well, I
yeah,
mean,
there was... That when you
all a simulation.
Michael Tellinger, there's another guy who, maybe that is your roommate, who has put up videos. There was a whole bunch of them done just in New Zealand, in bodies of water.
Yep.
When you zoom right in on Google Earth, you can actually see, although the videos that I saw, the guy hypothesized that they were ancient cities under there. But to me, they looked like
computer
chips or
yeah, I agree.
circuit boards.
Yep.
That's what Tellinger is revealing as well, which leads to this whole, it's just a freaking simulation holiday thing to me. Which is putting out an electromagnetic field in itself, right?
Yep. Oh,
the moon was part of the hologram. However, the hologram is only a mask, only to mask its true nature. It held different levels of usage and application. It appeared to be the funneling energy off into the system it was masking. It reflected a copy of the reality, and it inverted the codes within this copy also. I could see that receiving tech was being installed in all the organics. It began with the pineal gland. It was as though they copy and pasted Moo's pineal, so it appeared we were reading her codes. See, this is in alignment with where my thinking here, what I feel. It's like
she's going on, so keep going.
I know, but there is an organic matrix. There is an organic alternate, what do you call it? Artificial reality that we created. And a copy has been made, and they inverted everything when they made this copy, and we are trapped in the fucking copy. And right now, I think we're seeing the separation, this Mandela effect, all of that. It's like this overlay, this copy, inverted copy is being, and us are starting to separate. I know the other day we talked about merging, but what if it's not? What if it's actually separated?
I'm not going to argue that, because either one. Here's the thing. And I keep going back to these events that are happening. Geological and environmental events. So like these massive lightning strikes that was all over during the 28th and 29th and 30th of May. And fucking Fringe just keeps coming back up. The TV show Fringe. every time those two realities touched, or even in the times where they were breaking them apart and separating them, there were massive events, things that looked like earthquakes, things that looked like, and I just come back and it's just like, is it just bleeding through, or perhaps pulling away from? Do you know what I mean? Like sections are pulling away.
Yeah, well, so what if, what if? So let's say organic timeline, artificial. I'm saying timelines, realities,
Real dimensions,
matrices, whatever.
Insert your word of choice.
Now, it could be that there were some natural, what we'll call natural disasters here on this organic line.
Oh, yeah.
That didn't happen on this one because it didn't serve a purpose, but other ones did. And as they're separating, we're playing catch up. So these ones, we have to play these ones out.
Oh, and what does that make you think of? Something we just discussed in the last month and a half?
What?
The Valiant post.
Oh.
And that's what it jumped when you hypothesize. It's so funny because she put a post in the Unfuckers room, and she was actually staying at her cousin's house that night. So it wasn't like I could say, hey. And Facebook is being a real fucktard at the moment. Half the time I can't post. Half the time I can't comment or even like posts. Half the time I can't see posts. So I kept trying to comment on her post when she was making this kind of hypothesis to put my 2 cents in, and then it just disappeared. I couldn't see it at all. The first thing I thought of was that Valiant post.
You're going to have to refresh my memory on that one.
Well, your hypothesis. That two basic timelines, realities, dimensions, whatever. This is the organic. On that organic, that maybe somewhere along the lines it was a horrific natural events, like cataclysmic type events, and this was created to kind of jump past them. Am I?
Well, I was for some reason the Sean David Morton books popped into my head, and in those books, there is behind the scenes, above the military, above the government, all of that. There is a group of good guys who have been fighting off the evil aliens, right? Paraphrasing hugely here, but anyway. And that they're actually trying to protect humanity. So I was like, well, okay, well, what if they figured out that on this timeline there is some kind of extinction level event or an alien invasion or something really horrific, and there are some good guys out there in the military, in the secret societies, above all of that, that are trying to find a more positive timeline for us. It was just a what if, and that all the shit that we're seeing and putting people out there like bloody Hillary and Trump and all that as potential world leaders is simply impetus for us to want out of this reality so badly that collectively this is how we work. This is how we help create this, is by just giving us contrast in order to want something else so badly.
And therefore create it.
And therefore create it. But I'm going to read this because this is a continuation, and then see if we can find the Valiant stuff.
Because I've got a thought, and I got to try not to lose it. I'll try my best.
Oh, we'll go with it.
No. Go read
the
this.
The pineal in organics acts as a multidimensional eye with uploads, downloads, and reloads that are multisensory and fractal in nature. To connect with something through the pineal, it conveyed sentience as well as facts, feelings, and form. It was an understanding of the macrocosm through a snippet of the microcosm and could always be relied upon for accurate information. It was up to individuals' interpretation through its own experience, wisdom, and subsequent belief systems. Corrupt the light, information codes, corrupt the information that the pineal is reading. The signals that the pineal was now exposed to connected to the hologram they had inserted. Yep.
I agree.
What is the internet? Are we all not using it right now? Internet. It would have extra power from somewhere. as no way Moon alone could do that.
I agree. Sandra, I completely agree. The moon is just, the moon is the speaker.
It's the focal point.
It's just, that's all it is. It's being powered from something else, but it's all it is basically just a projector. And even your film projectors are plugged into the wall to get power. So, okay. So, your hypothesis, when I first read it, so my interpretation of what you were saying, because then we talked about later about Sean
David Morton,
et cetera, that if there was two, or let's say this was the organic timeline, and there was something cataclysmic was supposed to happen, and that steps were taken to avert that, and in so doing so, perhaps even created a second timeline. Instead of stopping the cataclysmic event from happening, it actually split into two timelines. And there's been a shitload of books and movies that have talked about that type of a thing. It's like how timelines split and how you alternate realities end up being created, right? The Valiant stuff, at one point in the Valiant stuff, the message was that they, whoever they was who is being channeled, had taken steps to do something, to help the planet, to help the timeline, to help us, and had done something, not realizing that what they had done had actually made shit worse.
Oh,
remember?
that's right,
and then the guy kind of said something about, like, we're going to come in and we're going to fix the mess. It's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be pretty. When we have to fix it, we did it by accident. Best of intentions. Basically, they were duped into whatever it was that they'd done to fix the problem. They'd been duped into thinking it would fix the problem, when in actual fact, whoever had set it up knew that it wouldn't. It was going to cause more problems. And I went, and the flash that I had, and I can't, so maybe someone can tell me, we talked about this before, Greg Giles, when he was channeling, when did he have that breakdown schism where all of a sudden it was all fake channeling, and he disappeared for a few weeks and then came back and said that everything had been fed to him? It was all governmental propaganda. It was all bullshit. That was 2012, was it not?
I thought it was only recently.
Not that recently. No. That was a few years ago. That was a few years ago.
Seriously?
Yeah. If Nicole was here, she could tell me. That was a few years ago. That was, I'm going to say 2013. Really? You're going to have to scroll down because we're like 104 messages behind in the chat room. That's how fast guys, calm down, please.
Recently. I swear to God, it was like recently? 2 months ago.
Now look, 2012. Okay, look, Rick said to everyone, 2012. He came
recent. So that's...
No, I remember that as 2012.
I swear to God, it's been since you've been here.
No. Oh,
we're all
2013, 2015, recent. No, 2012 as well. Oh, shit. Okay, then I'm going to call this, okay? Because I'm going to call this because this is one of the things that we talked about. When you have schisms and we have these breaks, the one thing that he talked about, and I said this multiple times in the past couple of years on the shows, that he talked about was the fact of the messages he channeled talked about the fact that there was going to be cataclysms. There was going to be some serious fallout, physical fallout, earthquakes, volcanoes, horrific storms, and that the galactic, those beings, whatever, the Galactic Federation, whatever you want to call them, they were going to be here to aid and help the planet get through these problems, but that they were going to happen. And all the other channelers who were all channeling this love and light and, oh, it's all a beautiful place, shit down Greg Giles' neck. Because it was like, no, that's all fear porn. And he was just like, and I read his shit and was like, no, I'm sorry. His shit resonates with me because I can see what's happening on the planet. I can see what's going on. I think he's right. And then all of a sudden, to me, it was at the end of 2012 or the very, very early 2013, he started channeling.
Just hang on, Jed. Do you think he died?
Yes, we're talking about when he disappeared, 2012. It was at either the end of 2012 or the very beginning of 2013, where all of a sudden the messages over about a 2-week period, the messages he was channeling got really strange, like really, really fucking strange. And then he disappeared for about 2-3 weeks. And a lot of people freaked out because they were afraid that he'd been taken. And I mean taken by government, taken. Black, men in black type thing. And then he came back. And he basically announced that everything he'd been told, all the channeled messages were bullshit. It was MK Ultra shit that they were putting in his head. It was all fucking bullshit. And he stopped channeling altogether, and he never channeled again. He refused to. He quit. And then he came back. His site came back maybe, I don't know, maybe a year later, 6 months later, something like that. But he would only post other messages. Like, he never posted his own channeled messages again.
Mia found a video from September 2012 on the subject. In Katie's reality, it happened recently. Mine too.
That is so fucking wild.
It happened this year to me. It happened earlier this year. I
think that this is what we're talking about in the schism. It's this natural disaster shit. The shit that Valiant said. The shit that Greg Giles said. He was talking about right before it went all fucking sideways. About there being natural disasters coming. They were coming. There was no way they could stop it.
If it happened back in 2012-13, then I completely missed it. And I've only caught it because it's been resurfaced again or something.
Yeah, well, I've been talking about it in the last 6 months.
No, but I remember it coming past. It was all over my Facebook. It was like, wow. Oh shit, really?
Then that is a time schism. That is got to be a time schism. And the Valiant stuff, if you take the Valiant stuff as another piece of that they tried to go in and change the stuff, and it didn't work, and it went against them, and that now there was going to be some serious physical fallout, and that was the message in the Valiant stuff, that there was going to be some serious physical fallout in the planet of disasters, and it was going to get real bad and real ugly for a while they tried to fix the problem. And it goes back to that with the recording we did on Saturday of 2012, December 21st, 2012. They went in and they inserted another timeline. There's a fuckery that happens right in that.
Guys, there's no way. We are like 200 messages behind.
I'm sorry. We're trying to keep up with you guys, but you guys are just like, we are at least 200 messages behind you. I'm sorry. This is whoever just said my head's exploding. Yeah, mine too, because I'm sitting here literally, my head is screaming at me. This is foundational. This is one of the biggest pieces for us to uncover in those changes to the timeline and the disasters. And we're looking at 2015. 2015 has been, we talked about it on Saturday, how 2015, when CERN started back up again, was been an epic year of earthquakes, volcanoes, storms, hurricanes. Epic. There's a major change there. There was something that happened in there. January 2012. I knew it's 2012. That in my reality, I remember it happening in 2000. Yeah.
Hey, it's entirely possible it happened in 2012 and I just missed it?
No, because there's too many other people. There's too many other people who are saying just recently. There's too many other people, which means that there's another, we're talking about another schism. There's some kind of a.
Because I was well aware of Greg Giles back then.
Yeah.
I mean, he was in the
No, I agree.
The channeled basket.
No, I agree, Lisa. You trust yourself. Exactly. You know what you remember. I know what I remember. This is one of those things that is so important when we're dealing with these Mandela effects, is to stick with our gut. When our gut says, no, I don't remember it that way, don't be swayed, because it.
But you do. Okay, I mean, you have to take into consideration that stuff, for some reason, just gets recycled again and put out there.
Yeah, it happens.
But I can't imagine it happening to such a degree back in 2012 and having the whole kind of community explode and me missing it.
Yeah, but everyone who's just said recent, this year, recent, 2015, recent, They can't all have missed it in 2012 and then seen it just come through. It doesn't work that way. Now, here's something else, though. Yeah, write that down, please. I have had a theory. And this it's been especially this last 2 weeks where this theory has really, really been pushing home for me. When we talk about these timelines moving, I am more and more beginning to think that it is not timelines on a macro scale as it is our own personal. That we are all fluctuating in and out. And when I'm fluctuating in and out, it's not the same time as when you're fluctuating.
But we certainly know when you're not my D and I'm not your Lisa.
We had a moment yesterday morning. It was actually kind of cute. It was very, very cute. Because, it was finally back to prime Danny and prime Lisa kind of sort of.
We looked at each other and went,
oh, you're back.
You're back.
Thank God. It's been a wild fucking couple of weeks, let me tell you. Yeah, for both of us. What does that mean then? If we're going to play the game of what if we are individually passing back and forth between, we'll use the word timelines, between realities, between simulations. And it's not just us as a whole flowing into, and I think that we have some of them that are major. Like we have some that just flow as a major thing where you're in the Berenstain Bears or the Berenstain Bears and that's the way it goes. But it doesn't hold. It's each is individual, which is why when you go through, for example, all those Mandela effects, some people will remember a lot of the Mandela effects and go, no, that's not the way it was. And then some of them, for example, Nick and I still argue to this day about, no, I am your father, and Luke, I am your father.
Seriously?
We still argue. Nick remembers it as, no, I am your father. I remember it damn well as, Luke, I am your father. And we still argue. And we laugh about it continuously. Because on everything else, we match up. Like on everything else, we match up, except that one piece. So if you take it as original and say, okay, that was the year of, okay, if that was, what was that, Empire Strikes Back, so that would have been, oh God, what year was Empire Strikes Back? And say, so in that year, were we just in that moment on a split? I don't know. But it doesn't flow as a whole. And that was the one thing I was looking at, was the fact of as a whole, we were moving through different, and we're not. I honestly believe it's an independent, if there is such a thing as independent, thing.
Well, if the statement we create our own reality has any validity, it has to be. Otherwise,
my reality is different from your reality.
And if I can't create any in yours and blah, 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 as the New Age rhetoric goes, then I can't choose a timeline for myself that involves this and have any effect on you unless there's an agreement.
What does that mean? Does that mean literally that even this part of the Matrix is just part of the Matrix?
Yeah.
It's the video game. In the video game, even this part, this Mandela effect, what we are considering breaking down to the Matrix or the separating or everything, is that just part of the fucking Matrix? To be experienced as like part of it?
When the whole flat earth thing came up, right? What was the thing that we said? Globe or flat earth, doesn't matter. It's all part of the Matrix.
Even this is all part of the Matrix. This whole show, us going through the discovery, has got to be part of the Matrix, because otherwise, what other? Okay. I may need to go smoke a joint after this.
You don't smoke joints.
I know, it's been a fuck of a long time since I've smoked a joint, but I may have to actually just go smoke a joint and have a shot of gin and go lay down.
Yeah, see, Katie, I agree with you on that. Katie says, I've been told on the inner several times that under the right circumstances that everything can and will change in the blink of an eye.
And it does. That, oh, Katie, that is so, because I've actually watched it literally, like I said, in the blink of an eye, watched shit change.
We are creating individual universes in each moment, and it's becoming more apparent to each other. Now you're smoking what I'm rolling. And Katie, yeah, we're all confused.
Oh.
The mind is the projector of the matrix. Yeah.
Yeah. But again, if you want to play on this game and go back to our previous conversation, the mind is an electromagnetic signal machine. So if there's another electromagnetic field tampering with the mind, then what does that say about what we're creating?
Hang on, say that again.
I know that didn't make.
I was focused on this.
If our mind, the mind, and by mind I'm talking physical brain, is an electromagnetic machine. It works on electromagnetic impulses. So if there is an external putting a massive influence on our machinery, our projectors, what does that say about, again, the reality? And who's controlling the reality?
Well, they say that reality only happens inside here. Like it's all happening just inside the brain. That there is no out here. It's just what your senses are interpreting and creating an image. And sensory feeling and all of that stuff.
Can't have it.
Elon Musk has said that there is only one in a billion chance that we're not living in a computer simulation. Our lives are almost certainly being conducted within an artificial world powered by an AI and highly powered computers, like in the Matrix.
Yep.
The Tesla and SpaceX CEO suggested at a tech conference in California.
Now, when I posted the conversation, the recorded conversation, the what the fuck conversation that Lisa and I had on Saturday morning, here, Australian time, Friday night, for the rest of you guys. When I posted that out Saturday evening or Sunday morning, whatever, before, I put the link to that Elon Musk interview. It kind of is a must watch, because some of the shit he says, and it's very obvious that he's had these conversations. Like just the look on his face as he's having that conversation means that he's been having these conversations. Hold on, I have to help a little dude. I'll be right back.
I went for a walk on Friday and had the strangest encounter with a stranger, and it just felt to me like he was from a different reality and timeline, and he was coming into my reality and timeline to give me symbolic messages. It was very odd. Elon Musk is a bot. Our higher selves are hijacked somehow. If thine eye be single, thy whole body be full of light. Reality is a consensus of opinion. Now, in the last couple of weeks, when Dee's been saying that she felt this incredible shift and that like this is just totally not her reality and none of us were the versions of us that she knows. And then there was a definite shift again yesterday when it felt like, for me, okay, she's back.
Sorry. Oh. I'm back. No, literally, I am.
That means that you and I found a timeline or a version of reality that we have a consensus on, we agree upon. That because the one that you were on, you didn't like very much too. Fuck, I don't know where my head's going at the moment.
The one I was on, I did not like at all.
Here is a message.
No, like I said, some of the shit that was going on in that timeline for me in my personal sphere was pure 100% fuckery of the nth degree. So I did not want to be on that timeline anymore. Ah, that's kind of funny, actually. What day, guys, in the Unfuckers room, I posted a piece of music. I posted a piece of music in the Unfuckers room. It was
From the choir?
The choir piece. It was a piece of music that had been written by a composer specifically for the Bulgarian Women's Choir. I think it was Saturday or Friday. I posted that because I actually went in, and when I listened to it, I had my headset on, and I had it just blasting. I've listened to it about 25 times since then. But I went in, and I sat there with it just pounding through me, and was just like, I'm done with this reality. I'm gone. Bye. Done with this, whatever this piece is, no fucking way. I am done. And then the next day, I think it's the day that I was like, hey, look, we're back. Nice.
Hi, nice to miss you.
Yeah.
I have to go and have a look.
If someone could just take a look at when I post it, it's on my wall. If whatever day we see it on my wall, you have to get rid of all these messages. Sorry, guys, I'm way behind in my Facebook messages as well. You're going to have to scroll down to wherever I posted that. Yeah. Keep going. Oh, wait. Oh, it's jumping all. Oh, sorry, guys. Just give me a second. Oh, the Muhammad Ali thing. We got to talk about that.
Oh yeah, he's dead again. No.
No. It's after that. So hold on, guys. Sorry, I'm scrolling through my Facebook wall to try and find when I actually posted that. That's going to make me nuts. So that was the meeting. There's the Muhammad Ali shit. There it is. Okay, so that was June 4th. Yeah, so it was Saturday, and I posted it in the afternoon. Saturday afternoon at 6 o'clock at night on June 4th.
Okay.
Or Sunday. What day of the week is it today? Yeah, June 4th was Saturday.
And it was yesterday that you
And it was yesterday morning that I was back. Okay, that is... Okay, so for me, personally, I consciously tossed out that fucking timeline and said, I'm not playing in this timeline anymore. This is so fucked. The light from fucked is going to take 1,000,000 years just to reach it. It's so fucked. And I made a choice. And I came back the next morning because, like I said, we woke up and it was like, hey, nice to be back. Okay, that... For the record, I'm not actually insane. I promise. I've been tested. I'm not insane. So I have to say that.
I haven't seen the piece of paper yet.
It's in another reality.
Okay, Muhammad Ali.
It's dead again.
I'm sorry, but I remember that man dying quite a few years ago as a result of Parkinson's.
He died as a result of his Parkinson's disease. It's so funny because I said this to Nick. Nick had woke up the morning that Muhammad Ali died. Nick was like, Muhammad Ali died. He told me, I was like, you're kidding me. Wait, isn't he already dead? And I remember seeing an interview with Muhammad Ali about 6 months ago. Or when somebody posted it, me going, wait, he's dead. I'm sure he died a couple of years ago.
Yeah, someone said that about a year ago there was a fake story about him dying, but this wasn't about a year ago.
No. This was like at least 5. I was going to say 3 or 4 years ago. I would say
to me.
Yeah, no. Like 3 or 4 years ago.
I'll say
I
5,
would say.
but I've got no concept of time anymore. So
yeah, it's before, but before, not just before.
Because I remember his daughter. His daughter was also boxing, wasn't she? And she was a young up-and-coming boxer. And she was speaking out about her father. It has to be at least 5 years ago.
I don't know. I know. No. Yeah, like I said, it's one of those where I'm not going to say for sure. It's a vague recollection for me. Like it's something that went by in the news of like, oh, Muhammad Ali died. Isn't that a shame? Because he's an interesting guy. I've actually read quite a bit about him over the years. He's a really interesting guy. And as soon as I saw this week that
Didn't happen
I was
to
like,
me in the
"Oh,
last week for the first time.
Pretty sure I saw that he died a few years back.
Actually, somebody I know whose auntie died when they were 1 is still alive now, and that's 20 years later. We've had a couple of people. Oh, I think we talked about this on a little impromptu thing. There was a woman who said that a girl she went to school with who died in a Jeep accident
In 1980 or something.
is back. Jumping subjects a little bit. The Black Star, Bowie, Captain America.
I didn't get a chance to read into that, so you're going to have to give everyone the rundown on that because you were reading it out, but I was in the middle of trying to design a website, so I was only half.
Apparently in the Black Star video,
David Bowie's
video, he's holding the Black Star Bible.
Which I've never heard of before, for the record. I've never heard of this Black Star Bible, so.
Now, I've not seen the movie, but you have.
Yes.
In the movie, Captain America, Winter Soldier, or whatever it's called. Is that the one?
Well, the newest one is Civil War. The
War.
last one was Winter Soldier.
Well, see, now I'm confused as to which movie it is.
Exactly.
I think Winter Soldier was the one that was mentioned.
Go on, go.
There's someone in there, in Hydra, I guess, is the Black Bible appears throughout the whole film.
Oh, got it. Yes, okay, it's not now I got it. No, it's in Civil War. Now I've got the reference. There's a book. The Winter Soldier is Captain America's best friend from when he was originally a kid.
The guy who's been
starts with a B. His name's just gone out. Bucky, right? He is the Winter Soldier. He's captured by Hydra agents during the Second World War. He is programmed to mind control. In the Civil War movie, the newest one that's just come out in the theaters, there is a book that they read from that is code words. And when they say the code words, and the code words are random, it's like 24, donut, duck, freight train, etc. So when their code words are read in order,
it's a trigger.
It's a trigger. He's brainwashed, and then the person who read those words has complete 100% control over him. And there is a book, and it does have a star on the cover.
A black star.
I don't know if it's a black star. I have no idea. But I think the book's red. I think in the movie, if anyone's seen the movie,
red book with a black star.
It's a red book in the black star. That's right. And it has all his control codes for the Winter Soldier, for Bucky.
But there is actually a Bible called the Black Star Bible.
I've never heard of this before.
Supposedly. So the reference is all about Manchurian candidates, MK Ultra, blah, 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 mind control. So I'm going to have to go and watch that movie again. Or maybe I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it yet.
I haven't seen it.
I have to give it to you.
Thank you.
Don't worry. You haven't seen it yet. I will give it to you later on after the show.
When we're done here, I'll forgotten it.
I'm going to have to actually go back and watch it again too, because that was that's all MK Ultra. That's all programming. That's what the whole book, the whole movie is pretty much about. There's the double storyline. One is obviously the UK, as I talked about before, and I think last week's show, the UN 2030 agenda, and the other one is, of course, the MK Ultra, is the mind control. And that mind control aspect is coming up in a lot of shit right now. It's coming up in a lot of movies, a lot of TV shows are tackling that whole concept of mind control. And one of the pieces in it is very interesting. This is the Captain America one. Is he says to Bucky when Bucky comes back to himself and realizes that he's just gone on a fucking killing spree. And Captain America says to him, "It's not your fault. You had no choice. You were completely under control." And I was like, oh, that is really, really interesting. Is that a program mechanism that they're going to put in play? to basically say, so as an excuse of like anyone can come forward and be like, but I was under control. Obama, Netanyahu, I was under control. I was mind controlled. When I signed that bill to put nuclear bombs on the border of Russia, I was under mind control. So I cannot be held. Hillary Clinton, oh, you know, when I had set up Benghazi to happen, I'm sorry, I was under mind control. I can't be blamed. I was mind controlled. Is that what it is? Is this the setup?
I don't want to be in any reality where Hillary Clinton even exists.
No, me neither. Let's manifest that right now. Can we all manifest that right now? Let's all put it right down. Hillary Clinton does not exist. Everyone, set your watches. Right. Hillary Clinton doesn't exist.
Not in this reality.
Not in this reality. Not in any reality that I'm in. Here we go. Having said that, that brings up a Robert Heinlein book.
Oh, what?
Oh, that's kind of fucking interesting too. Oh. Robert Heinlein, one of his Lazarus Long series, where he's got spans 40 years of writing, this one character and kind of a storyline, 10,000 years it spans, that they're trying to control time, which is why they've built the artificial intelligence computers, the conscious, not AI, conscious computers that are, well, Mike is the first one, and he is the one who is self-created, who created himself and became self-aware. Because they didn't have the capacity to be able to look at time when they were going back in time to try and change events. They were not able to see the probabilities of what their actions would cause to happen. So one of the things that they did...
Butterfly effect, that's, well...
Well, they went back in time and they gave Adolf Hitler's father a fucking condom the night that he was going to meet his mother. So Adolf Hitler never happened. And then the time crew went back to their timeline, went, yay, no Adolf Hitler. Oh, fuck. What happened is because there was no Hitler, there was a religious fanatic that came up in America named Nehemiah Scudder, who literally took control of the United States as a religious dictatorship, kept the U.S. out of the Second World War completely, and it created the worst religious dictatorship in the history of the universe, and because they had killed off Hitler. And that was the whole reason why they needed the AI conscious computers that could actually see the probabilities before they went into act. So, and it was the same thing, and there was another book where it was like they stopped an earthquake from happening in one place, but because they stopped that earthquake that maybe only killed 100 people in that time, 2 weeks later, there was an earthquake in a completely unsuspected place that killed 1 million people.
Yeah, right.
And they didn't know how to do, and that's why they created...
Well, that goes back to what I was saying earlier. What if those sort of things have happened, they've been prevented on this organic timeline because maybe it didn't serve someone's purpose, like maybe a natural earthquake was going to happen in Washington, D.C. and take out something,
the New Madrid fault, and the whole United States cracked in half, and... Yellowstone Park.
In order to, if this overlay is, if we're now separating from this overlay where they've controlled those things, that we're playing catch up, and that's why we're seeing such an incredible weather, natural anomalies, all that shit. It's
which kind of goes into the Valiant thing.
But we've also had experiences, and I'd love to know if you guys have had this too, where it feels like time has been inserted. You'll go to bed for a night, but the physical evidence is you've been asleep for a month.
Shall we?
Like, you know, you look at your nails one day and they're down to the quick, and then the next day they look like they need to be chopped again.
That was Sunday. That was Sunday.
Really?
With Kira and I's hair. That was Sunday. Oh, this is getting to, okay.
And scars here, yeah. Scars healing or disappearing, or new ones are popping out of nowhere, freckles turning up where they never were before, birthmarks.
On Sunday, so we've had, unfortunately, we had lice go through this whole house a week ago. And you have to do it like the onion or oil mixture, and then everyone gets their hair oiled, and then you got to sit and comb through everyone's hair, et cetera, et cetera. So I know that I had just washed out myself and my youngest daughter, Kira. I had just washed our hair. We got into the shower together, got our hair all washed. That was about Thursday, probably. And once your hair's dry, you brush all your hair. Kira gets up on Sunday morning, and her hair looks like a fucking rat's nest. And I'm not joking. It was like, what the hell have you done with your hair? And she spent the better part of 45 minutes herself brushing her hair, and then came to me in tears. And when I lifted up the kind of surface of her hair is about this long. The back of her head was mats. I mean, mats. I'm talking dreadlocks that were as big around as my wrist. That night before, I had said to Nick, I want to brush my hair before bed. I was like, what the hell's with my hair? And I had dreadlocks at the back of my hair as if I had not brushed my hair in 2 weeks. And it took me probably the better part of a half an hour to comb Kira's hair out. Like, and when the hair came out, if you've ever combed out dreadlocks, you have all the detached hairs that just come out. And it was like her brush was full. She ended up with a handful of hair like this that came out of these mats. That was just matted hair that was in there that wasn't even attached to anything. Yet I know on the Thursday, I had thoroughly combed her hair because I'd done a knit combing. You don't get any more thorough a combing than knit combing. That was Sunday.
Okay, I'm just going to see what the people have.
Okay, guys, yeah, let's see what everyone else has to say on this because it's fucking holy shit.
Quick insertion I have to make it, please. You two ladies, you have to read this chat after the
Yeah, I know.
Oh, we will sit down and we will absolutely post the entire chat when we post the video because, wow, there's some amazing shit going into this chat.
So people saying, Randy said yes, nails and scars healed.
And random sore spots, sore muscles.
Spontaneous healing occurs. We're actually jumping timelines. And someone said that they had, I think it was Jan, I can't remember, but she looked at her clock and it was only 8 o'clock, but her clock was reading 10 o'clock.
Yep.
And she noted it and went, okay, that's weird. The clock's jumped. And then when it actually got to 10 o'clock, she had this very strange experience and she put it into really kind of poetic but weird analogy,
and she said it was the 18th of May. What that happened, was it not?
Yes.
It was the 18th of May.
And that she had shifted realities and she could feel it happen.
Dawn is, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Okay, read down. I got to see what Dawn is oh my Godding about.
Nails. Things happened to me Sunday.
Okay. I'm freaking out right now, Danny. I went to eat with my dad. He told me that there was a sore on the back of the cat's neck and we needed to doctor it. We came back from eating and it was not there at all. Fix my tooth. Yeah, well, Vicky, this is one of those things. My tooth bothers me and then randomly it's gone. And I keep putting it down to, I'm back to doing oil pulling again and I'm treating it and doing my oils and all the rest of it. But and I have a few other, and we'll discuss it later, few other issues that have been coming up that just randomly appear and disappear. And is that as my consciousness jumps into the different Danny bodies have got their own fucked up things. Like that's why your knees hurt one day and then they don't hurt the next. That's why you have a tooth bothering you one day or for a week and then randomly it stops. Because in the other reality, the tooth isn't a problem. Oh. Jed, the other night I had 3 hours inserted, and so did my friend.
Well, yeah, not last night, the night before. To my knowledge, I had no sleep. I actually gave up at 4:30 in the morning and got up. And yet, for the most part, I was fine all day yesterday. It wasn't until about 9 o'clock.
Well, at 7:30, you said, I'm going to bed. And then we sat down and watched Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
And I still didn't go to sleep for a few hours.
Yep.
I felt like I'd had a good, say, 6 hours sleep, but I know I didn't. There's no way I did, not according to the clock. Kimberly's saying that she'll look at the clock and it'll say 3:15. She'll walk away, do some stuff, come back, and it's only 3 o'clock.
I've had so many times this last week where I've had just bizarre things. Well, I've turned around and gone, it's 5. I did it yesterday. It's 5 o'clock. We haven't even started dinner. Haven't even come close to even preparing dinner. And it was 5 o'clock. And there was multiple times this week where that happened. Or vice versa. I'm looking at the clock and going, how can it only be 9 o'clock in the morning? I swear it's got to be at least noon.
And are you guys having experiences where you just have these days or moments where it could be your spouse, it could be a kid, it could be a friend, it could be anybody, where it's like there are times where you feel so connected to them and, you know, love's flowing and everything's beautiful, and then there are other times where you look at them and it's just like,
who the fuck are you?
I feel nothing.
I feel nothing.
Nothing. There's no connection. There's, and it can go from moment to moment or day to day or week to week.
And that's exactly when someone said about split second. Katie or Sheila just said about it can happen in the blink of an eye. Exactly. As you can have a conversation with someone and then a blink of an eye, it's different.
Cindy said she can't keep her kitchen clean. It looks like a fry cook works in there no matter how many times she cleans it.
Same with us.
Strange pains coming and going. Oh, that's interesting, Dawn.
That's very interesting, Dawn. Dawn just said, my dad said that my mom has come to the side of his bed and said his name and woke him up twice this week.
And Dylan's mum passed recently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we are. I think we're doing time slips and flux. And
I think it's maybe that's the increase that we're seeing is, I don't know, I remember you and I having this conversation before where we talked about back in early 2013, you'd have those woof moments, but they'd be like maybe for an hour twice a week. Well, then it got to be the spans of time were longer and the spans of time between the episodes were shorter. And now it's to the point where it's like in and out all day long, because I've seen you and I both in the last couple of days had moments where we've just been like, oh, what the fuck just happened? And be almost floored and then get up and be absolutely fine like 15 minutes later.
Mm-hmm. Time is at 11:30 already.
Speaking of time.
Speaking of time. And it all feels so irrelevant. Even Darius made the comment this morning. Like, he's got no concept of time. It just feels completely irrelevant. It's, you know, I don't even know what day or date it is most of the time. I can't believe we're in June already.
It's June 7th. It's not even in June. We're a full week into June. I have no concept of where the last week went to.
I don't have much of a concept of where the past 6 months have gone.
But I'm just saying, how can it be June 7th already?
I don't know. Somebody inserted at least 3 months into this last 6.
Feels like, speaking of sore necks, my neck and my head are still killing me.
No, that's what's been going on since you've been back.
Yeah, actually, that's really funny. I hadn't thought it's like literally almost like whiplash. That's how bad it is. I've had a really, really bad headache that's been since Sunday. It started Sunday. I got blasted out. That's right. It was Sunday that I got wicked fucking. I don't get.
Did you come back into this reality a little bit too quick and give yourself?
I wondered because that literally is what it feels like. My neck muscles from about just the two below my atlas up into my base of my skull ache, and they have been aching for 2 days solidly now. Like I've got whiplash. And I've got the headache, and I've still got the headache. I was just sitting here thinking I may have to go up.
So
and
maybe
take
it's
something.
you who needs to practice your landings.
Maybe I need to practice my landings.
Sorry, that's an old inside joke.
Inside joke. Sorry. Oh, you just had to go there, didn't you?
I did.
Too funny. Yeah. Yeah, that's fucking. I don't know.
Yep.
Everyone.
You need to smoke that joint, by the way, apparently.
Yeah.
Everyone's having these on and off
here in
pain.
Spain. 3:33 a.m. in Spain. Oh, and our sheet just blew down. Wow. 3:33 a.m. in Spain, and the sheet literally just came in and just about blew right off. We have a sun cover sheet up, just so it's not blasting sunlight right now. This has been a fucked up, bizarre show, everyone. I don't know if you feel the way I feel. I feel like seriously fucked up at the moment over all this. I don't know, Maury, but a truly great show, a truly fucked up show is more like it. I am seriously. Maybe I'll have to have a suggestion. Barbara, I don't know if you're in here. I haven't seen you yet. For you and Lisa for the collective imagination tomorrow. Maybe everyone needs to do a little test, kind of like my little test, like I said, Saturday night when I just went in with the music and I listened to the music and was just like really focused on, I don't like this reality timeline, whatever it is that I'm in, I don't want to be here anymore. I'm fucking out of here. Just saying, maybe for the collective imagination tomorrow, the exercise should be if everyone independently picks one thing in that immediate moment, that's fucking pissing them off, and setting the intent of that, not my fucking no, and see what really set the intent. I'll even give you the piece of music to play that you guys can even, I don't know, go right into it and play that music, go through it, and set that an intent, but make it personal to every person. Not like we were just joking with the whole thing, like Hillary Clinton does not exist in my timeline, but something specific. For me, I was really specific about some of the shit that was going on, the negativity that I don't consent, I will not have this in I'm just not doing this anymore, I'm out of here. If everyone was to pick something personal, private to their own reality of that moment.
Yep. Now, if you guys ever end up in a reality where Dee and I don't smoke and drink herbal tea.
That was the consensus on the YouTube, our YouTube, the last one we did on Saturday. It was like, well, as long as you guys are still smoking and drinking coffee, we know that we're at least all good. We were talking about we're going to play a nasty trick. We were going to try and find some wigs, and you wear a black wig and her wear a blonde wig, and just do a show like totally straight up with the different hair, just to see what would happen to everyone in the audience. Just fuck everyone over. Because we're mean that way. I'm sorry. Oh, come on, that would be so funny.
That would be funny.
It would be seriously funny. Come on. Even if we just open the show for the first 30 seconds.
I have a blonde wig and sipping on a green tea.
And I'll have a glass of wine and with the dark wig.
And a joint. You'd have to have a joint too.
Yeah, and a big hookah. We'll have a big shisha pipe in the corner. Yeah, we're going to do it with our shisha.
So I don't care what she thinks.
Oh, no. Yeah, no, so don't fucking care what she thinks.
Without a consensus, we may not be able to get there.
No, I disagree, Barbara.
What if
it's personal consensus. Each of us is creating our own fucking reality. That is my theory. That is my theory right now, that mine does not matter to hers. Because it is my reality that I'm in. And that is why I am going back and forth in various timelines. And I think that if if that is the case, we're going to a what if experiment.
But it doesn't have to be
Pick
focused
one.
on something you don't want in your reality. It can
Or
just
maybe
be
it'll be
pick,
something you do.
it can be, this
I'm
is
just
what I
trying-
want.
Well, I'm just trying to recreate what I did Saturday night.
Yeah. I
And
get it.
that's why I said pick something that you don't want. And say, fucking done. And it doesn't even have to be really specific. It doesn't have to be, because I wasn't really specific. I just was like, I'm not fucking doing this anymore. Fucking I'm out of here. So, I don't know. It's up to you guys, your show. I'm just coming up with ideas.
Well, we had quite the conversation last week, on last week's show. We didn't even get around to it doing because the conversation just kept on going.
Yep.
And we will be starting tomorrow off by continuing that conversation because I don't know, it brought up a bit of controversy for some. Some saw it as controversial, some saw it as buttons being pushed, some saw it as just discussing a diverse approach and all of that. I loved the conversation.
I was here. I mean, you guys, I wasn't on camera, obviously, but I'm almost always here for the collective imagination. And sometimes we need to look at shit. And sometimes shit is brought up that we need to look at. And sometimes we can't look at it in that moment. And sometimes it takes 2 weeks to look at it again in our own, like for our own, why we react to things the way we do or don't react to things when other people do. I don't know. I thought it was a really interesting conversation you guys had last week. And the very fact that there are multiple reactions, yeah, I think that means it's
it was probably my
a topical
fault.
topic.
Well, I just kept throwing different sort of what ifs out there and different approaches and what if that and what if that and what if that and what about this. And, but it brought up a lot of really cool stuff, I thought. Now, just to apparently a breaking news story.
Breaking news story, what?
I'm in California. Breaking news. The TV news has declared Hillary the winner before the California primary. VT published a story that she is an Israeli spy. Insanity in the news.
Okay, David, I'm sorry.
Links, please.
Got to be links, and we can pull it up. I'm in California. I'm not going anywhere near a ballot. Yeah, good for you. I love you, Susie.
Well, there was actually the clip from RT. I don't know what his name is. The guy with the long, sort of dark hair. It's got a bit of mustache and beard, I think. A couple of weeks ago, he was showing a story in mainstream news where the news reporter was saying that all of the main news outlets are being prepped to announce Hillary as the winner on the East Coast.
Yes, on the East Coast.
On the East Coast, while the West Coast still hasn't even voted. They've been prepped to announce it at a certain time. How blatant a declaration of
okay, hold on, guys. I'm just going to pull this up. Zero Hedge. It's from yesterday, the 6th and the 6th. 6th and the 6th. Response to Hillary's nomination. Expect many confused pundit and Bernie Sanders fans to mull for hours why the AP, Associated Press, released its critical announcement that Hillary had won the delegate race just hours before the important California primary. For now, however, here is the response from a confused, unhappy, and perhaps angry Bernie Sanders, released moments ago by his spokesman. It is unfortunate that the media, in a rush to judgment, are ignoring the Democratic National Committee's clear statement that this is wrong. Oh, stop with your stupid advertisements. Hold on, sorry guys, I can't even get it. Stop. Okay, we got to go through the frickin' ad. Sorry.
No, there was a.
No, you can't. You're forced to watch it. It's one of these.
It went to a button though.
No, there's. That just takes you to the actual ad. Oh,
Press play.
Sorry guys, we're stuck. We have an ad here, and we have to let it play out. I'm really kind of pissed that Zero Hedge just put these video ads in. This is a new thing that's just started up everywhere, it seems, in the last 6 months, and it's making me insane. I don't want to watch your fucking video ads, and you're stealing my bandwidth. Fuck off. Hurry up and end. Okay. So It is unfortunate that the media, in a rush to judgment, are ignoring the Democratic National Committee's clear statement that it is wrong to count the votes of superdelegates before they actually vote at the convention this summer.
How can they count votes that haven't happened
They
yet?
haven't happened yet. Oh, this is so wild. So this is
Okay,
just
explain to me,
blatant.
because this is an American term. What's a superdelegate?
Oh, fuck, I have no idea. Americans out there, can somebody tell me what a superdelegate is? Because I'll be fucked if I have any concept.
What is a superdelegate? It's a new thing.
Superdelegate commits to the candidate? What? What does that mean, Tom? I don't know what that means.
They make up the rules as they go. Yes, it's a new thing. Superdelegate was a program enacted.
Oh, look,
by
our internet
DNC.
connection is unstable. So to find about us talking about fucked up reality, but the moment we start talking about superdelegates and the fact that it doesn't fucking exist. Look at that. Fuck. Hold on.
With or without a vote, a commit to follow.
I commit to follow what, though?
As a way to stop anti-establishment candidates. Required to vote. They can vote for whoever they want. I don't know.
I just want to say that anyone who's not American right now is really fucking confused.
There is something that's only in the Democratic Party.
But I've never heard of this other than the last 2 weeks. All of a sudden I'm hearing
That's
about
right, the Americans are confused too.
even the Americans are confused. Good, because I was feeling really us Americans are confused too.
Us Americans.
I love you, Tom. That was fucking funny.
The superdelegates are in place to provide an outcome for the DNC when the popular vote isn't the one they want. Yeah,
what
well,
does
I
that
agree.
mean?
I mean, it seems to me like the last several elections have just become more and more of a circus over the last, say, 3 or 4 of them. Well, since Bush and the whole Florida thing. Was it Florida?
Yep, Florida.
That was the first huge circus and transparency of fraud that I can recall. And then they've just gotten more ridiculous ever since. Biden will take Hillary's place. There's been talk of Hillary being outed for the last year and indicted on this and charged with that, and she's still there. I don't understand.
And I get the fact that, you know, like the FBI, if you're doing a proper, full-on, by-the-book investigation, which they would have to do if that's in case fact of what they're doing, that they could not possibly take her off as a delegate until they're ready to arrest her or whatever. But come on.
Apparently you can have an affair with your intern and leave your jizz all over the place and be outed as president and crucified, but you can be behind some of the biggest war crimes and scandals and
of all time
and still run for the job. How does that work?
I have
somebody please explain to me how this works.
Even back with the whole Monica Lewinsky thing, I honestly did not get the whole American shit about. I'm like, who fucking cares who he's sleeping with? Who he's sleeping with has nothing to do with how he's the president and how he rules the country. I really don't understand. I don't care if the guy has hookers every night of the week. As long as he does a good job running the country, what should it matter what he's doing in his fucking bedroom? I don't understand this whole mentality, and I've never understood this fucking mentality. When people were like, Obama's gay, who cares? Michelle's a trainee. Who cares? Again, I just don't care. It doesn't matter jack shit. Sorry, that's just me.
Anyway.
Anyways.
A few minutes left.
We'll bring up something groundbreaking, earth-shattering, because what we have to do is, like, we only got minutes left.
Oh,
I'm too tired to actually bring up. I have to go finish designing a website, and I just want to go to bed. Really? I think I'm going to go eat a chocolate bar and go to bed.
Well, we seem to be on some kind of general consensus that A,
Everything's fucked.
Everything's in flux.
No, it's in fluxed. It's in fluxed.
It's constantly changing. Who knows what the King James Version is going to say tomorrow?
Unicorns.
And why the King James Version? So please, anybody out there who is friends or family or whatever with people of other religions, we need to see if these anomalies are appearing in other religious texts.
Is it happening in the Quran? Now, like I said, there has been shit that's come up over the last couple of years that I have taken it to be Wahhabist shit in the Quran, like the way they're twisting the scriptures, etc., in the Quran. But what if it's not? What if it is a Mandela effect changes that are actually being put into the Quran? I don't know. I don't, unfortunately, know at this point anyone who would understand Mandela effects, who could go into the actual Quran and be Arabic speakers who could go into the Quran and actually spot differences. That would be really interesting. The same thing with the Torah in the Hebrew. Are there differences? I don't know. Any foundational books. Don't be caught up in just the religious aspect. Books, teachings that are foundational to society as a whole, or massively affecting society as a whole, whether it's philosophy, psychology, any major changes that people spot would be interesting. And it's something we should be looking for, I think. Yes, Jeff, we should be. Why don't you just get on that? I'll expect it by tomorrow.
Oh God, what have I done?
You just screwed everything up. Stop. Don't touch the PC. There.
I know that we had a joke about this once upon a time, and it was taken far too seriously.
But on Fuckers Island?
Yes, on Fuckers Island.
See, I knew exactly what you were going to say.
We made a joke, and then we were condemned for it, which is kind of funny.
God forbid.
You know what? Not a joke anymore.
No.
I'm going to create a reality where I live in paradise, which I kind of do almost.
But it's a bit cold in the morning. This paradise is a bit cold in the morning and at night. Paradise.
I know what I want. I know the reality I want. And I'm just going to focus on that. But I tell you what, this is the greatest show on earth. Never a dull moment.
Never.
Probably wouldn't have missed it for anything. There is a detachment now, more and more. And we all paid for front row seats. Exactly. Dinner and a show.
Dinner and a show.
These days, dinner's provided by Dean most of the time. The feeling, remember how that, not that long ago, we were talking about this feeling of something building, and I kept talking about this, there was this tidal wave that was coming up behind me.
Maybe that's what gave me the whiplash.
It's still there, but it ebbs and flows, but it doesn't go away. It does feel like I'm literally riding a wave that's doing this right now, but you're kind of always on the crest.
Hang 10.
Go roll off that one. Someone's encouraging you to smoke pot. In fact, several people are encouraging you to
It's
smoke
very,
pot.
very funny. I haven't smoked in years. I mean, years. Like, as in measurable in decades, actually, if I was to look at it.
I've never seen it. I'd love to see it be hysterical. Um,
Someone's.
we could all collectively just get stoned and see what happens. That would be silly. Well, I'm going to ride this wave. I'm continuing to ride this wave, as we all are, together. And I think that, yes, I do want to do that. I feel like the tribes that we've been talking about for years that are coming together are getting tighter and tighter, and perhaps even smaller and smaller. There is none of this talk anymore, for me at least, of what's going to happen or what's about to happen or what might happen. It's happening. We are so in it up to our eyeballs, and it's just about trying to go, to some degree, go with the flow, but at the same time be mindful of where our energy is going, what we're focusing on, because I think we are creating this right here, right now. We're in it.
Yeah, I'm going to be a little more specific in what I want to create.
Yeah, I think we need to. Stop feeling like victims, if we are, and just going with the flow in the sense of being battered about by the waves, but going with the flow in a more determined, determined's not the word I'm looking for, going with the flow in a way that is not being judgmental of what's happening in the moment, because sometimes, as we've seen countless times, that what appears to be a negative thing in the moment rolls out to be a positive thing later on. So not making any rash judgments about what's happening right now. That's what I mean by going with the flow.
Mm-hmm.
But being very, very conscious and mindful of where we're heading and what we want to create. Because I think maybe now we have more power than we've ever had to create our own reality. It feels different. If you can make a conscious decision, as you did the other day, and feel and see such a radical difference in your reality, and for me to be able to even observe the difference, for someone outside of you to be able to go, hey, shit, everything just changed. For you.
Yeah.
Right? That feels new.
I agree. That does feel new. That really does feel new. That feels like a holy shit moment.
They may be rewriting the religious text to accommodate their next phase in bringing all religion. It would be interesting to find out changes had happened in the Quran or any other holy books.
Yeah,
really
I
would.
really don't. I totally agree.
Any of you can save the chat for yourselves.
Yep.
Just there should be a little save button on there.
Yep. You just have to click on the chat, and there is a little button that says Save Chat. So you can click. You can save your own, and it'll save it to your computer. So you don't even have to wait for us to publish this. The transgender unicorn cult. But do they have their own bathroom?
Yeah, I was going to say, what about a bathroom?
Oh, God. I'm exhausted.
Yeah, I kind of feel a little bit like that.
I'm really quite exhausted now. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but wow,
okay, this is something.
Okay, here we go.
Sorry, no, it's
4
one last
minutes
question.
left. Okay,
one last question. It's about the unicorns.
Okay. Hit me.
We all have, I think, this idea in our heads that the organic timeline, there's this ideal timeline. And I personally believe that all of these so-called mythical creatures were at some point in time part of our reality, whether it's unicorns or mermaids and fairies and whatever, right? And maybe they live over there on that other timeline that they've been pulled out of. And they're still there. And sometimes there's bleed-throughs, right? So are we seeing these little changes, like the unicorns being written back into or appearing in the Bible, because we're moving back over, they're separating. And Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Are we heading back towards the reality where there are unicorns still?
I don't know. I'm going to blame Facebook. I'm going to say the fault is all these people posting all these little unicorn farting rainbows fucking memes is created unicorns in the Bible through artificial intelligence. And it's all Facebook's fault. In my opinion. Yes, it's changed from wild ox to unicorn in the King James version of the Bible. It's funny though what something you said though, because we all have the feeling of what our reality is, and I want to say that for me it's actually the reverse of that.
What do you mean?
I can't tell you what my reality is, except to recognize the things in the reality I'm in, i.e. now, here, whatever, that aren't. It's the negative of it.
Yeah.
You know, like I cannot tell you what my own organic based timeline reality. Maybe we don't really even have one. I can't tell you what it is. I can just tell you what it's not. Hillary Clinton, it is not. All this shit, it is not. All this, no, doesn't exist. So I can't tell you what my reality is. Just can tell you what it isn't. One of these things just doesn't belong.
I still think that we have the power to program it.
Oh, yeah.
And I think a lot of things, and most of them confuse the hell out of me, but that feeling that we're in a place, a time and a place, a situation, whatever, that we've never been in before, still feels true. That maybe we all wrote a million different storylines for ourselves, all just slight variations, all just in this story I did this, and I went left, and then this one I went right.
Well, like video games.
Like a video game. And we're just taking what we want from each one. Oh, look at that. You're awesome.
My eldest daughter is so amazing.
I didn't know. I'm sure you guys wanted.
I actually don't do look at them. She brought me like cookies, muffins, and coffee, and my daughter rocks. See? She totally rocks.
Life versus anyone. The whole inverted thing, where everything is ass up, backwards, back to front,
upside down, inside out.
Inside out. She even gave me oatmeal.
Okay. Huh. And I don't have oatmeal because I can smell it. It does not smell like cows.
That's because you're used to it.
Again, ongoing conversation.
Okay, we're rambling. We should probably just say goodbye now. All of us are writing our own stories with certain specific things relative to just us, and other things that we share with small groups, and other things that we share with a larger collective. Yeah.
I think so too, Katie.
Now, hang on. So if we...
I wonder.
You can go.
No, you go first. You don't know. Go.
If we all focus, say the suggestion for tomorrow's show, if we all focus on a particular aspect of our own reality, timeline, whatever, that is super positive and exactly the way we want it. So that will have an echo effect from the personal, the individual, to the sort of the larger collective of our family and friends, and those are in our sphere, and then the larger collective of humanity. We can work it both ways. We can focus on the big events, the collective stuff, and have it filter down to our personal, or we can work from the personal up.
I agree. No, I completely agree.
Or out, whatever.
Up, out, over. But I'm going to throw a curveball because look, we're 2 minutes late. We're 2 minutes over time. But I'm going to throw a curveball out there. What if those moments were, so Saturday night, I intentionally jumped back to wherever it is that I am now.
Well, created something
new. Whatever. What if in those moments that are not done purposefully, it is how do you fuck the English language is not set up for this. For example, if Lisa sets the intent that I'm going to make lasagna tonight, if she sets the intent and I don't have like maybe a counter intent in place, does that mean I all of a sudden end up in her reality where I make her lasagna tonight? Whereas if I set the intent to say, fuck that shit, I'm making hamburgers, our timeline splits. And you end up with the Danny that makes you lasagna, and I end up over here where I'm making everyone hamburgers. Dun dun dun. What is?
So the conscious versus the unconscious, the more powerful. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, like do you know what? And is that why we sometimes get taken off? Is the fact of someone sets an. You don't have to speak it to me. You set the intent of like, I really, really want. I set the intent. I really, really want Lisa to make that risotto again. And therefore, it creates that and takes you to that place that maybe a timeline where that happens, because I intended it, not you. Therefore, it's my timeline. I don't know.
Jed wants the Moroccan chicken timeline.
I'm all for it, dude. I'll make you Moroccan chicken anytime you want.
But what happened to you can't create in somebody else's reality?
But that's what I'm saying. It's not about not creating someone else's reality, but if you create the intent that has to do with me, i.e. Danny is going to cut my hair this afternoon and color it for me, does that therefore affect me and my timeline? Because you've created that an intent that has to do directly with me.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know the question you're posing. I don't know
if I'm actually speaking it out properly. I think it depends on if the receiver, you, Danny, has the intent to in a place that allows yourself to be utilized as support to another. I agree. And if you are in sharp contrast to that, then you will not end up eating lasagna. Exactly. That was, Barbara, thank you. I think that actually summed it kind of up, because that was what I was kind of trying to say is, if I have no feelings one way or the other, and Lisa intends that I'm going to make lasagna, then I will end up making lasagna because I have no conscious choice counter to that. But if I've already decided I want quiche tonight, which, by the way, there's a chance we're having quiche tonight because I'm kind of craving quiche. By the way, I think I'm making quiche. I
just got a heads up, apparently.
We might be having quiche. Then it creates a cross, like where a timeline split off, where when you were timeline because you've intended lasagna, and I'm like, no, fuck that, I'm making quiche. If you want lasagna, you got to go buy cheese. I'll make lasagna too. I don't particularly care, but we're out of cheese.
If you have that giant doobie, you may have brownies. Okay. And now we're just making everybody hungry.
I already got the brownies.
You may be eating quiche, and Lisa will still be eating lasagna. How the food manifests is up for debate.
And that's kind of what I'm getting at. Like, but if we look at that, I'm just using that as a really fucking random, unimportant.
Well, does it go kind of back to the analogy you had before about the magnetic fields and the strength of them? So the concentrated intent is stronger, overpowering the weaker field, which is not.
Oh, that's right. Because Nick and I've had this conversation for fucking years. And it's a conversation I've also had about those that create versus those that run in the program. The people who are completely programmed into this reality, who are completely asleep, etc., are not consciously creating. They're not setting. Therefore, those that consciously set an intent actually have.
The force has power over weak minds.
The force has power over weak minds. And if you are tied into the programming and part of that matrix, part of that backdrop, people asleep, however you want to phrase it, the conscious mind, I always, what is, fuck the English language. The conscious intent that is created, or my inability to actually speak it. I fall back onto Canadian at that point. The conscious intent that is set, I have always felt, has more power than the unconscious unintent.
Just personal experience. I know that my life is more positive and magical when I set time every day to consciously create and set intentions.
Mm-hmm.
That's
well said.
When I'm
well said.
And for a large chunks of the last few years, I have felt like I have been at the, no, I don't want to say mercy, but that's one way of putting it. Of me. No. But of whatever the universe is doing, you know, whatever the kind of gave up my own personal intent and power.
The curveballs of the universe.
The bigger picture.
Yep.
Okay. The bigger picture is going to dictate this, and I just got to go with the flow.
Mm-hmm.
That has led to some seriously fucked up situations for me, personally.
And
it keeps reminding me of something I read, I don't know how long ago, about two scientists, and I know I've brought this up before. These two scientists decided to set an experiment for themselves on a personal level, and they declared not to make a decision for 12 months.
Mm-hmm.
They said that everything flowed, everything went perfectly. They left decisions up to others. They kind of left decisions up to the universe, and for them everything worked perfectly. But the one time that they stepped in and made a decision about something, it screwed up
everything up.
But my personal experience is almost the opposite to that. If I don't have, and maybe that's a sign of how things have changed energetically and the space and time we're in. Maybe in the 80s that was the way things worked.
Yeah.
But it's not now.
Well, if you think of it even as a matrix thing, if the matrix was running perfectly smoothly, then them not setting any intent, not making any decisions, allowing the matrix to make it for them, could run absolutely perfectly and smoothly. But now that the matrix is falling apart, if you try and rely on the matrix to make a decent fucking decision for you, you're going to be left wanting.
That's interesting. I don't believe in the weak mind thing. What about if eating one or the other and all that impacts empowers a desire of yours you may have forgotten about?
Everyone wants me to smoke a joint. Seriously. It's gotten really quite funny.
If he does, I'll get it on camera because that'll be hysterical.
Actually, I did smoke a joint back in Ocean once.
Did you?
Yeah, with Brian. Brian and Nick and I sat down and smoked a joint together.
No, I missed it.
Yeah, because Brian fucking howled, laughing, going, "Oh my God, I never thought I'd see this day."
The Force uses the unconscious as its tool of producing the reality of these thought form entities who live off us through the unconscious.
Okay, wait, I got to read that again.
Yeah,
I didn't. The unconscious as its tool at producing the reality of these thought form entities that live off us through the unconscious. Okay, I kind of get what Terry's saying there.
Explain.
If the unconscious is being controlled, so to speak, by whether you want to call it entities or the matrix, or I know we have a serious issue with Calvin's.
We need a bigger table.
We need a bigger table. If the unconscious is being controlled, programmed, be it through entities, artificial intelligence, the matrix, whatever you want to call it, then the Force, consciousness, could actually use that as a tool to create? I'm not sure.
Energy is too intense for me to meditate anymore. That's the other thing I've stopped doing.
I can't meditate. I literally, it's funny because when I laid down Saturday night with the music, that's the reason why I had the music so loud. I had the music in my headset deafeningly loud. Like if anyone had picked up the headset and actually put it on, they probably would be like, oh my God. I had the music that loud to drown out everything, to make it so that there's this one thing, well, kind of almost like that machine, to negate all external forces.
Yeah.
That's what I was using the music. I was actually using the music as a way to drown out everything external so that I'd have one point and one point only to concentrate on, and that was the music. And setting the intent, because I couldn't meditate. I could not, and I haven't been able to meditate in a couple of months at all.
Barbara's had a hand up, apparently. Sorry, darling, I didn't see it.
We're 23 messages behind again.
Come on out.
Well, I'll make it fast. What I wanted to say was, using the lasagna quiche example, you're going to end up eating whatever is going to be part of a bigger desire of yours. So let's say, Danny, that 10 years ago you set a desire to be X or to do X, whatever X is. And in that particular decision, if you don't have a particular view on whether to have lasagna or not, you still may or may not eat lasagna, because what if eating lasagna with Lisa keeps you from going out for a walk where you would have tripped upon somebody or come across somebody who would have helped you achieve that X goal? You're not going to eat that lasagna. But if you do eat the lasagna, then by conscious choice, you decide, no, I have to stay here. Then you miss that opportunity. It doesn't mean it's not going to come around again, but you missed that particular one. So it's an issue bigger than one individual.
If it affects the greater intent you've got.
Yeah, it can.
But here's the thing, though, Barbara, and this is the foundational question that I have coming out of this show today. Whose intent? This Danny? Or the other?
Yeah, Danny. No, Danny's.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I walk, and I'm beginning to go back to this whole idea of multiple fractals, and they're not all me. I mean, they are me, but they're not. So whose intent? And if that intent is something that I set without knowing what was going to be in the now, there's so many questions.
Okay, now
there.
my head hurts.
It's too big for a question for 7:15 or whatever time it is there, 15 minutes after the end of the show.
Yeah, 15 minutes after the end of the show.
Okay, I'm going off now. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Love you, Barb. Oh, you got to catch up now.
I'm smoking through my eye now.
Okay, no eye text.
Yep, hard for me to meditate. I can't meditate either. Yeah, see, I used to do it every day.
I can't.
Haven't been able to do it for a couple of years.
Cannot. But in the last, I haven't been able to do it for the last probably year and a half or so. But in the last couple of months, it's gotten to the point of there's not even a glimpse. So you don't even get this one.
Oh, I can't even get the
trickle
to load.
Hold on. Hold. Let me.
It says there's 30 more. And
scan it to the bottom, and then we'll just have to scroll back up. Sorry, guys. The whole chat is, you guys are blowing off the chat again. Fuck off, flies. I got a fly. You keep trying to land in the middle of my eyebrow. I'm seriously not impressed.
Yeah, which version of you?
Yeah, exactly. Which version? And this is where I keep coming back to.
Shari Edwards says that the frequencies we hear are our own personal healing sounds, and we heal by focusing on them, putting us into theater. Okay, and I've actually... No, there was a conversation we had. Was it Jed? Where when you hear that noise, you hear the tone, whatever it is, the white noise, really, really tuning in on it. And I think that's what...
That was about a month and a half ago that we had that conversation. Yeah, I remember that
where
conversation.
It took him.
And I've actually...
Is that you, Jed?
That's why I do tune in, and I actually really focus in on a lot of the tones that I hear. Almost like check. Whoops, there goes the door slammed shut. Almost checking in a way, if you will. I have never associated these tones as being negative. There's a lot of people who've tried to say, those tones that you're here pardon me, are it's HARP, it's these ELF, ULF waves, blah, 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 blah. And I disagree because, no, I disagree. And I've never found them to be, I've never had negative thoughts about them. So I do focus in on them quite often, several times a day. Usually I'll end up focusing in on them.
I actually forgot to. I remembered starting to do that when after Jen told us about it, and then I've forgotten. And I should have been doing it lately because it's been louder than ever. That it's been just white noise. It's that like someone's got the TV on the wrong channel, and it gets so loud. And then there's a high pitched ding, ding.
Yeah.
That's in there as well, and it's been while you've been gone. It's been while you've not been you. That's when it got worse. Holy shit, I just realized that.
Okay. So
what does that mean?
Okay. Stop. Okay. No. Listen, okay, it's going to be an extra long show, guys. Sorry. We all have our own frequency.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone has their own frequency. Frequency is sound, it's light, it's color, it's vibration. If I'm not me,
For me.
for you, I'm going to go back into the whole Danny Prime and Lisa Prime shit. Whoever, the Danny that is here would have to, I would almost have to resonate at a different frequency.
Are you disturbing me? Are you disturbing my field? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I'm just saying,
hearing your different frequencies.
That's hearing the different frequency is that part of the interaction that we have. What if going into the theory that we all have a base prime reality, sorry, I just got extremely dizzy for a second. If we all hold on.
Mouth engaged.
Engaged. Thanks. If we all have a base prime reality, whether we call it fractals of ourselves, timelines, and what the fuck ever, would we have a resonant frequency that is based on that reality?
Yes, it would resonate, it would be in balance or in harmony or whatever with the primary reality would be my thinking.
And therefore, when one of us crosses over, so if I was gone and there was the other Danny here that is from another, is resonating at a different frequency, then you would pick up on the field being off.
Mm-hmm.
Our minds, not brain, but our minds, our consciousness recognize far more information than we consciously acknowledge, right?
Yeah.
So it's why you know when someone's staring at you when they're behind you. It's why you know when someone's coming around the corner. Our minds take in a vast amount of information. Our electrical fields, our electromagnetic fields, are continuously in communication with each other. So if my field in that moment is of a different frequency than what you're used to, or your field, i.e. the resonant of your reality, then you would hear, sense, and your brain might interpret it as sound, or it might interpret it as visual, depending on the person.
Or, okay, the flip side of that is that I'm not in my prime reality. I'm in another reality that operates on a different frequency, which is why I'm hearing the tones and shit as loudly as I am.
And okay, so then how we've always kind of gone off the hypothesis that one of us is always in our base reality and the other one disappears. But what if there are times when neither one of us is in our base reality and we're both just fucking smack dab in the middle of Alice in Wonderland? And therefore, because for the last 2 weeks, we've both talked about the deafening tones in our heads.
Yes, Alice, I've seen some weird shit.
Yes, Alice, we've seen some weird fucking shit. Is that what we're talking about? I'm dizzy. I need to go lay down. Power nap.
Ingo Swann states in The Secrets of Power, our 5 senses have 32 or more extrasensory abilities.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, Terry. I agree. We do. Our mind perceives, our brain translates. Our mind perceives many, many more dimensional aspects of every one of our senses.
I can't remember the numbers, and
But
I know I'm
brain-
going to bastardize them.
Okay.
There's apparently our eyes take in, and our subconscious and the brain and everything perceives like 1 million bits a second. But the consciousness registers like 4 or 5.
Yep. Absolutely.
So everything we've ever seen, heard, done, it's all in there.
Don't say consciousness. The brain.
The brain. It's all in
brain.
there.
The mind perceives it all. The brain can. It's like a very retarded computer from the 80s that can only deal with several bits of information a second.
What did Murray say? Tonight's better than listening to Lisa interviewing John Langlash. We are involved, really involved. Yeah. This is a rather large chat. This is not just us, that's for sure.
Yeah.
What we see is just a waveform. What we hear is just a waveform. The
Yep.
tools in our eyes and ears are what translates those waves into sight and sound.
The brain, not the mind. And I always talk. There's a vast difference between.
That's
the
why
brain
there
and
is
the
a
mind.
subliminal shit.
That is why there's subliminal shit.
Our,
It's why they can put the subliminal shit in, because the brain doesn't catch it, but the mind does.
It goes straight into the subconscious. Yes. Oh. Okay, we probably should let these people go to bed and get on with their lives.
Mia, if you're still there, it's got to be like, what, 4
3
o'clock? 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning for Central Europe, for mid-Europe time. Sorry.
These are many questions we have. So,
And thank you for joining us for another rousing round of What If?
we might have to do something separate just dedicated to the bloody King James vote.
Oh,
Version
Sarah
of
just
the
said it's 3:24 a.m. in the UK, which means it's 4:24 a.m. in Europe, in like France, Germany, Spain. Maybe we should really adjust for this. Maybe for this summertime daylight savings time, we should just change our times back a little bit. I feel really, really bad for everyone in Europe. Because I know Mia tries so hard to get in.
There is no time that we can do it that kind of isn't in the middle of the night for somebody.
I know. It is what it is.
Oh, now, did anybody play with, did we get any feedback? I know we had a couple of links. The 325 hertz thing. Well,
375 hertz. Oh, we were supposed to talk about that one. No, we're not talking about that. We'll talk about that next week.
Okay, now apparently there's a few of you going off to have a joint.
Yes, apparently everyone's going off to go smoke one.
Oh, that's funny. I'll just have water.
Yeah, I just need water. I'm actually feeling really dehydrated with all the coffee I've just imbibed. I think it's time for me to drink a gallon of water with a large splash
Mad
of lime
Tom's
and
working
salt.
on the 375 hertz thing. Awesome.
Tom, please remind me in the next couple of days, because I'm really fucking losing my mind busy at the moment. In the next couple of days, I have the pieces of music I want to send to you. And if you could play with them for me, I'd love that. But you're going to have to remind me because I'm brain dead.
This version of D is very forgetful.
Yeah, fun fact.
All right, well, we will see a version of all of you next week.
A version of us. We'll see a version of you.
A version of us will be here next week.
Next week. Same bad time, same bad channel.
Thank you, guys. And, yeah, I'll see you tomorrow for Collective, for those who joined us for that. And have an interesting week. Keep your eyes on King James.
Yeah.
And the Morphing Bible.
The ever-changing Bible with unicorns.
But I don't mind a world with unicorns. I'm happy to be in a reality where there's
dude,
unicorns.
I have no problem with a reality with unicorns. I'm just saying, wow.
Yay to the round people, one table. That's it. Thanks, guys. Bye for now.
Bye, guys.